Hello everyone. We'll be resuming with the next part of elementary classroom in Islam. Till here we have learnt about the physical condition in which these children, they were sitting. The classroom was painted with such things which were worthless, although they were being privileged, but still that cream was sore for these children. The next passage says, surely Shakespeare is wicked, and the map is bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal, for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes. Now till here, the poet, he was telling about the condition of the children, but now here, from this passage, he is elevating the people, elevating the images, the figures which are being painted on the wall. And what are these paintings? They are the Shakespeare's head, they are the open-handed maps. So what does he say? That Shakespeare is wicked. Shakespeare is not noble. Why he says that Shakespeare is not noble? Because Shakespeare, he is the father of literature, and these children, they are even starving of the basic education. And map a bad example. The open-handed map which draws the boundaries, the names of which are unfamiliar to these children, the ships and the sun, the love, all these things are the positive aspects of life. All these things are the luster and gleam of the life. It's a privilege to study Shakespeare. It's always a privilege to travel to unknown destinations. But these children, their lives are not that privileged. They are not so blessed, and they are not living such blissful life. But on the contrast, if these children, they are being inspired by these figures, it is more of a temptation to them. It is more of temptation to steal, because whatever is in your hand, you could go to those domains only. You cannot exceed beyond that. If you want to go beyond that, either you need to put in your heart self into it, or you adopt some unsocial means. But here the poet, he is saying that the children, they are being tempted, they are being fascinated, and they are being allured towards all these things which are beyond their imaginations also. To whom he is referring? To the lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes. Cramped holes are the houses, the slums from where they are coming. Cramped holes, cramp means whenever you get a cramp at your leg, it's difficult for you to get up and move ahead. It doesn't provide you a foundation, doesn't provide you a base to move ahead. So these cramped holes are the third condition of their foundations, of their slums. That shows that these children are coming from such pitiable conditions that their slums are not even properly maintained. The roof over their head, even that is not proper. It is all, you could relate it to that lost spring part, the wobbling doors and the cramped walls. So similarly here, the cramped holes are the hovels in which these children were staying. This is a comparison. Slyly means cleverly, because somehow or other their lives have to turn into that, because they cannot go beyond to their limitations. From fog to endless night, on their slag heap these children wear skin peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel with mended glass. Now here the poet says about the cramped holes he has indicated. Their houses, their slums, the huts they are into, their life is as if it's foggy. It means it's blur. Their future is not clear, and it ends up to the endless darkness. In a nutshell, there is no streak of hope for improvement, for improvisation of these children. Their status would not improve as per the poet. It's difficult for them to improvise their levels. on their slag heap. Slag heap are the dumps of garbage. Dumps of garbage here means again the houses, the slums where they are staying. This shows the intensity of their pitiable condition, unhygienic outlets where they are staying. On their slag heap, these children wear skin. Wearing skin is indication of malnourishment. And how are they wearing skin? As if the skeleton is being prompted. Skeleton is being visible through their skin, means they are very skinny, and each and every bone is being visible of their skeleton from their skin. And what else they are carrying, what else they are wearing? They are wearing the spectacles of steel. Spectacles of steel is again the symbol of their grinding poverty, again a symbol of their intensity of being poor, that they are unable to afford a proper spectacle, they are unable to have that spectacles. The frame is of steel. And what about the glasses? The glasses are being mended like bottle bits on stones, as if when you throw a bottle of glass on the stone, it shatters into minute pieces. The one who wears the spectacles, they can very easily make out that if the glass has got even a bit of stain or a crack, your vision gets diverted. It gets a diversion. If you are looking through those spectacles or those glasses which have got the glasses which are shattered into pieces and then again being joined, your vision is not clear. You cannot focus on one point. So this is an indication that they cannot see their bright future through these spectacles also. The vision gets diverted. There is diversion in the vision. That is what is being indicated through spectacles of steel with mended glasses. Got it? And all of their time and space are foggy slum. So what all they are into? Their life starts and revolves around these foggy slums. Foggy slums again is indication that there is no penetration of sunlight into their slums, and they are staying in that setup that need to be improvised, but there is no such hope that the life would become prompt, would be clear, would be improvised, the level of the lifestyle would improve. There is no such indication, right? So in the last passage till now, what we have read about is only the pain, the plight, remorsement, right? But right now the poet, what does he say? What does he indicate? He comes up with a hope that although being so negative, many negatives when combined turn out to a positive. So this is what he indicates, that there is a streak of hope only when their condition improvises with the intrusion of higher authorities.